Hi guys, welcome to You're Not Alone Conversations. I'm Geethika, your host for our first experimental episode where there is no guest and I will be sharing my experiences with all of you. So today's topic is something related to not just what I'm going through currently, but also one of the reasons that You're Not Alone Conversation started. So when You're Not Alone Conversation started, which was last year, the COVID-19 lockdown had hit us all for the first time and we were all feeling absolutely isolated and did not know what is happening. In this isolation, all of us ended up feeling that we're the only ones going through the problem and nobody else would be facing something similar. So when You're Not Alone Conversations happened, a lot of people actually ended up relating to a lot of our episodes. And that's the reason that we're still making You're Not Alone Conversations. So that time we had all hit a rock bottom, or that's how most of us felt, right? And everything seemed to be going wrong. Not just the fact that we were isolated, but people we knew were getting COVID, people we knew were facing difficulties because of COVID. And by the time the second COVID wave hit, we were all shaken up to our cores because by this time we knew so many people who were passing away because of COVID. And that was truly a moment where all of us needed some hope, needed to believe that things are going to get better. No one knew how, no one knew when. But when the vaccination started coming out, it gave us a little bit of hope. So here's hoping that all of you are vaccinated by now or on your way to getting vaccinated, because trust me, when the COVID low happened, for us, vaccinations seemed to be the only hope that we had left to avoid such a situation. So the reason I'm saying it's sort of relevant to what is happening in my life is because the last 2 months for me have been quite unnerving. There have been really high highs and there have been really low lows. And honestly, it's been very difficult. And honestly, that's what happens with a lot of us, right? We always end up having times that are going great for us and then just right after that, we're hit by life and we're hit by something absolutely nerve-wracking. And honestly, like the 2 months, everything that could go wrong in my life was going wrong. Be it my health, be it my friends, be it my relationships, be it my family, name it, there was something going wrong in it. And it was really difficult. You know, you don't have to have a world pandemic for your life to feel absolutely shattered. So when that happened, you know, there were days, literally, and I'm not exaggerating, there were days where I couldn't get out of bed, where I just felt like, bus, like that's it. I'm happy in my bed. This is my world now. I don't need to face the world. But you know, just like how during the COVID waves, we all kept looking for that one little hope and we kept believing that things are going to get better. The last 2 months, I've actually been able to get through because I kept that one thing alive in me, and that was belief that things are going to get better. Now, of course, everyone deals with their lows per se differently, right? Everyone has their own way of coping. Everyone has their own way of sort of externalizing what they're going through. My way, and please do not take this as a good way, because ask anyone who knows me, it's literally the worst way. So my way to deal with things is by not talking about it, by shutting myself out. And it's one of the unhealthiest ways. So this podcast right now, it's not to externalize it. It's not a way of dealing with it. This podcast is a way of sharing with you why internalizing your problems is a horrible idea. It's genuinely the worst idea because you end up shutting yourself from the world. So people who do want to give you support, they're unable to come to you. And trust me, like in the last 2 months, after a month of just absolutely being like, I don't want to see anyone, I decided to start talking to people. And you'd be surprised at the support system you have, right? And where the support system comes from. You'd be surprised at the people you can reach out to. And listen, like, a therapist is a great support system. So are your family and friends. But depending on the magnitude of your problem or your issue or how you're feeling or who you're comfortable talking to, please reach out to a support system. Do not use Geetika's method of internalizing and shutting down. I've done that for most of my life, and trust me, it has harmed me so much. And it also weirdly became the reason I started or decided to enter the mental health and wellness space. But that's for another episode. So coming back to what I was telling you guys, I think what everyone goes through a low at some point or the other. We all have times where we don't want to get out of bed, we don't want to face the world. And you need to know that it's okay, that sometimes you go into a little shell. But it is very important that you know that you have to come out of the shell. Had I, in the last 2 months, not made that effort, I know that I would still be in a shell, not making this podcast, not talking to all of you. I truly, truly believe that if something is making you sad, upset, angry, making you cry, the world does not have to believe that it's a big deal. If it's doing all that to you, then it is a big deal. The reason behind it is something that you need to look into and resolve. And I know it's really easy to hear it and say it, but to actually do it, in the last 2 months, I have literally done it. I have literally pushed myself to come out of that little shell, to get out of my bed, to dress up a little, to actually step out. And it's taken effort. It's taken a lot of effort. But I think the only thing that kept me going was the fact that I kept believing that things are going to get better. How are they going to get better? I had zero idea. So here's hoping through this podcast, through this episode, you realize that if you are in a low right now, that you need to push yourself a little more, to believe that things are going to get better, to actually go out and seek help from your support system. Because trust me, even if we think that they're not going to be there, there will be someone there to help you. There will be people who will preach. And weirdly enough, sometimes that preaching also helps. So always reach out. Even if you don't want to listen to what they say, or if you know what they're going to say, reach out. It is that important. And also just believe that things are going to get better. Because without a little belief that things are going to get better, you're just going to end up being in bed and missing out so many days. And if COVID has taught us one thing, it's to know that life is short. Anything can happen anytime. So yes, wallow in your sorrows, wallow in your sadness a little, but get up and step up. You have to make that effort. And I would love to hear your feedback about this episode, because I believe that your feedback keeps You're Not Alone conversations going. It keeps us doing a good job. It keeps every episode that we put out there to be unique. And please do share it with people that you feel will benefit from this. Because at the end of the day, knowing that you're not alone in a given situation really, really helps. Who would have thought? Alright guys, here's me signing off. Please do continue watching You're Not Alone conversations. Do like, share and comment what you thought. And I hope to see you soon in the next episode. Take care everyone. See you.